Yesterday I created a bit of space in the greenhouse, shuffled things about a bit, and all those trays of pots and things that were out in the allotment, most of them have come in here, and a few of those mushroom trays etc. that were lying about the place. They're not all in here, there's still a few out there, but I've got most of them in here, so that's organised and out of the way, making the plot look a little bit tidier. Because I was tidying up in the greenhouse yesterday when it was a little bit drizzly, I didn't get to finish planting these. So I did 1, 2, 3 and this one, so that's 4. And I cleared the space for this one. So that one needs to be planted and that one needs to be planted there. But before I do that, I have to apply the mulch that's in this barrel around these other fruit bushes, and then I can plant it more or less where my foot is. It's not going to be exactly in line with the others, but that doesn't matter. Then I can tidy the area, but the stuff that was here lying about and all the pots and things, I've cleared most of them out. There's a few left on top of the compost heap, but most of them are in the greenhouse, and this area is tidied up. And that dalek is more or less where it wants to be, same with that one. But because this ground is so uneven, I'll have to sort that out first. Whilst I was digging the holes for these fruit bushes, I found all this lot. These are good 50 centimeters long and the width of my hand. These were buried. It was only when I was actually digging the hole to put the bushes in that I was finding some of this stuff. It wasn't just lying on top or just slightly buried, it was deeply buried. Things like bricks and old paving slabs, and look at the size of that. Compare that to my size of 8 foot, so that's a good 50 centimeters long and a good 30 centimeters wide. So these things are just buried down there, and I've still got to dig 2 more holes. So I'll probably find some more, but yeah, I'm starting to make headway. I feel as though things are taking shape, and this one is done. When I went to cook some eggs, I noticed this one was cracked. Now I did check in the shop, but obviously either I broke it whilst I was coming back from the shop, or it was probably cracked and I didn't notice it, so I'm not taking a chance with it. And I was going to throw it away, and I thought, well, seeing as I'm digging some deep holes, I'll bury this, and as it rots down it'll feed the bush. A bit of extra nitrogen and minerals will probably be a boost for that. This area was already thickly mulched, so before I dug the hole I scraped the mulch back, and when I dug the hole, instead of just putting the soil to the side, it would have mixed in with the mulch, all the woody bits. I put it into plastic pots, and then I can put it back when I've planted the bush in the hole. I've checked that it's the right depth, so first thing I'm going to do is put this egg in and just bury it lightly. If it breaks when we put the pot on, it doesn't matter. Usual additions of mycorrhizal fungi, fish blood and bone. And this one's got extra calcium and nitrogen in that egg. The roots just come out the bottom. There we go. Excellent. Excellent. I want it like that. There we go. And then just add the swan back in the sides. Just making sure that I'm not burying it too deep. Trying to keep it more or less the same place as it was. Right, so it's another one done. Well, I'm going to cut that bottom branch off, I think, but that's fine. I'll water it in a bit, but before I do that I'll just put some of this mulch back around it. So that's that one done. Now this bush has got pieces coming out there, and it's got pieces coming straight up here, and I've got little buds on, so I will be cutting this it's got some coming out there from the bottom there, so I'll cut it about there. There's a bud coming out there, so I'll cut it about here. Then this bit is probably surplus to requirement as well, because it's low and it's big and it's going in the wrong direction, so I'll cut that bit off as well. This looks like it's got buds on it, so it's coming out. So this is what's going to grow. It's going to grow up this way, and I'll cut the ones that are going sideways. I might leave that one just for this year, just to give it a bit of energy, and then once these have grown up a bit more, I'll cut this bit off, because obviously it's going to be growing into the other one. But for this year it doesn't matter, so I just let it grow for a bit, put some energy back into the plant, and then chop this branch off in the autumn. Right, so cut this bit off. There we go. And I'll clip this bit off. Like that. And in fact, this one I'll cut, because this one is an upward growing bud there and one there, and then these others are all going sideways, so cut it there. So now I've cut it there. This is going to put the energy into this one that's coming up. That one is sort of coming up, and this side, there's more buds coming out there and more branches coming straight up, which is what I want. So that will look more like this, which is coming straight up, and I will do the same for this one. This bit is just sticking out, but it's got bits coming out there, so I'll cut this bit off. Right, so this one now looks a lot neater. That big branch is gone, and it's got two branches coming straight up, so that's fine. That one has got this going sideways, but that's okay, because I'll let that go a bit, and then when these other ones that are coming up the sides come up, then I will cut it about there in the autumn. Right, now to get this barrel out of the way. Actually, it might just come off. So it's spilt some of the mulch that was inside it. It's gone down quite a bit, and it's down here. So what I've got to do is shift some of this mulch over onto those bushes, and then I can plant that blackcurrant over here. Now I will go and sort the mulch out later and make sure that it's not touching the bushes. For now, just want to get them all in. I can deal with the mulch later. Constant battle with bindweed. Every time I put a fork in the ground, I get bindweed roots. But if I keep pulling the bindweed, it will eventually go away, or at least be severely restricted. You just got to keep pulling. That's the thing with bindweed, you just got to keep pulling. And because this is heavy clay soil, you try and pull it and it snaps. And until the mulch takes effect and softens the soil, I can already feel that this soil is a lot easier than it was last year, because it was like trying to dig into concrete. It's easier now. I won't say it's easy, but it's easier. Okay. Right, well, this can go out of the way somewhere. The stuff down close to the bottom is wet and a bit more rotten, but the stuff at the top, obviously it's dried out, but it'll be fine for mulch. Okay, now it's time to put the raspberries in. So I've got one there, and I'm going to put them in up to the line of where this blackcurrant is, more or less here. There's going to be a loganberry in that corner next year, so I'm leaving space of at least 1 metre to either side of it, so it'll be a bit close to this bush, but that's okay, because it's only going to be once or twice a year when I harvest these, so that's not going to be a problem. Otherwise I'm not going to be coming down here very much. Right, I've dug a narrow trench from where this raspberry is all along to be in line with this blackcurrant. So just like here, I'm putting raspberries every 50 centimetres, and between them I'm planting strawberries. As with all bushes, I'm spreading some mycorrhizal fungi, adding a liberal dose of fish blood and bone, and as I'm putting in strawberries, I'm adding in some pelleted chicken manure as well. The reason I've only got a shallow trench is that strawberries and raspberries both shallow rooted, and they don't need a lot of depth to the soil. I've just mixed that in. Well, I've dug up a few runners. These two came together, so it's an easy job. Basically, spread it across. We've got 2 runners. So, every 50 centimetres. That's the runners spaced 50 centimetres apart, and a raspberry plant in between each one. So all I've got to do is backfill and then mulch it. Right, that's all the raspberries and strawberries planted out. Just giving them a quick water. And we have a lot of this mulch handy. This is all the stuff that was in that barrel. Just gently mulch around them. Not worried about the raspberries, but the strawberries, you've got to be careful that you don't cover the crown. My card was full the other day, so I didn't get a chance to film what I'd done. So I've put a line of raspberries in and mulched them, and had some spare strawberry plants, so I've put them along here. There's just a few odd ones, the smallest ones, so I thought, well, I'll just put them here. If they live, they live. If they die, they die. It's not the end of the world. What I've decided to do with this cold frame is not do any repairs this year. Leave it for the winter because I don't need it just yet. So what I'm going to do is mulch it and forget it basically. Put all this other stuff that was on the sides ready to get it repaired, because I've got to repair all this wood and things. It's not a case of just putting something on top of it. So it needs some serious repairs, and we're getting into the growing season now, so it's not urgent. So it'll wait till the winter when I've got time to get it done properly. So now that that's mulched, I'm going to move that door just on top of it for now, just so it's out of the way and it doesn't look so untidy. Considering, well, there's all that rubbish next to it, but roughly that is how it's going to fit. Once it's obviously secure, it's very easy to just open it, get in here, do what I need to do, close it again. But obviously I'll put some plastic in there later. And all these big slabs that sit in here for the moment. Right, the stone slabs are in place. This is roughly where it's going to go. It will eventually go right up to that edge. I can open it from here, and it'll open out this way so I can get in and do things from this end. And then this bit, which is about just over a metre, I will put something else here. I'll find something else, another door or something, or a window like this one here. Unfortunately, this one cracks with the cold we had this year. It's double glazed. The outside was okay, but the inside's cracked. So it's a bit of a shame, but that would have been just about right. Well, we could use it still, just have to be careful, knowing that, you know, this that grass could possibly crack, but I can live with that. So this might go over here and fill this gap. So that's another job out of the way, and this path doesn't look quite so untidy now. I've had a little change of plan, because rather than put the other compost bins here, I'm going to put them along that back fence so that they go over there I was going to put the fig tree there, but obviously it's only a cutting, it's not going to take up much space for now. And I can put those there and I can use that space for something else. So I'll have to have a little bit of a clear out. I'll deal with those pots later. I was going to use the orange bag for composting, but now that I have the daleks, they can do that job. So that's those 3 composters out of the way. Right, this corner is cleared. I'll have to shout over the sound of the power tools, but that's the trouble around here. Once they start, they won't stop. So this barrel is going to go over there where those 2 pallets are, because that's where there was a green bin water collection. So when I've used that to water the beans during the summer, once it's empty, I'll move it over there, because I'm going to use this area for something else, but I shall leave that as a surprise.